You got James in the house.
All right.
He's in the building.
Am I in here officially?
Man, you officially, man. There you go, buddy. Mama, there go that man again. My God. Hey, he don't need no introduction, but I want you to introduce yourself, man. Go ahead.
Hey, it's been a long time, man. I feel like, man, I'm around all these lovely people. My name is Big Game James, coming from Silver and Blue Nation. We started out about a year, being, going strong. Now I'm rubbing elbows with all these top dogs. I feel so special in my life.
Oh, man, tell them where they can find you at on the front end, because a lot of people probably don't know you on the YouTube world. But, man, right. If they go and check out the Facebook world, my God, man, tell them where they can find you at, man. Tell them about the Facebook page.
Hey, check us out on Silver and Blue Nation. You just type in Silver and Blue Nation. It'll come straight up. You can go to our Facebook page. And if you also want, you can go to my Facebook page, Big Game James page. Just type in Big Game James. It'll come up. We just, like I said, we're just doing our thing. Cowboys football, Cowboys all day. And we talk the real. We don't just talk all that good unicorns and rainbows. Everything's going to be great in Cowboy world. We talk the real. And if you don't like it, hey, that's just the way it is. But we got to talk the real about what's really going on with them Cowboys and not the fantasy world.
Yes, and normally I keep the Joe PG-13, but let me tell y'all this, man. Take the kids, put them to bed. We got to talk some football tonight, man. We got to talk some football, man. Kids, go to bed. I'm telling you right now, we got to talk about what Charles Haley said. We got to talk about what this doggone. Come on now. We got to talk about what we're going to do in the draft. We got to talk about what Jerry Jones is doing. We got to talk about this National Football League and how they just dropping the ball with. I think even Alvin Kamara had something going on. I think Kareem Hunt, you got something going on, right? Jarvis Landry, all these cats out here is getting in trouble, and we have yet to hear a 1 ounce of a word from the NFL, from the ESPNs of the world, and Undisputed. We haven't heard anything from Facebook, YouTube, MySpace, if that's even still alive, Twitter, Twitch. We haven't heard nothing, man. Talk to me, man.
Hey, y'all. Hey, well, I mean, for me, you already know it's always been the Cowboys. Even with Jimmy Johnson, anytime we did anything with the Cowboys, we were always going to be in the limelight. We're a lightning rod, and especially now because it's kind of like they kicking us when we down. So anything that we do, any kind of little thing, since we ain't won nothing, they just love to pile it on us and throw, oh, you ain't won in 20 years, so now you just got nothing but criminals, and y'all just a terrible organization because they just hate. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if they're 800 years old. We still have more rings than everybody. And at the end of the day, people still don't like that. So they will use anything to go against us. San Francisco got 5 Super Bowl rings. They don't say nothing about them. Foster over there doing reckless stuff over there. Reckless. You over there being reckless, and you ain't even get a Goodell, we ain't even getting a nothing. We ain't even getting on. Stephen A. Smith is the first one to always talk about something going crazy. We ain't heard Stephen A. Smith saying nothing about no daggone Foster.
Yes. And then I haven't heard the other lady, Molly. She's on TV crying. Oh, he hit the girl.
Don't touch the ladies.
Don't touch the lady. I'm waiting. I'm sitting here at the edge of my TV like, come on, lady. Well, I'm waiting for you to say something about this Jarvis Landry stuff. I'm waiting for you to talk about this Kareem Hunt situation. But I guess it don't affect her that way, you know.
Yeah, and this, sorry to cut you off, but in terms of what James said about this notoriety the Cowboys have gained through the popularity of the 90s, hey, I'm a post-dynasty child, so I have not seen the Cowboys be great in my lifetime. It's just been mediocrity in my lifetime. Oof. And I hate they say that because, you got my parents going like, man, I remember, well, exception of my father because he's a Steelers fan, I know. But like, yo, I remember when they would just destroy teams left and right. They were just unstoppable. And then what am I supposed to tell my kids if we're still on the same path? Oh, yeah, I remember that one season we won a playoff game.
Yeah, you got it bad, bro. I feel bad for you.
Yeah, so I got a chance to see 3 Super Bowls. I was so young when it happened, but I was there, but my God, man, you haven't seen not one. Now I'm gonna tell you, man, this guy right here, SpaceCowboys17. That's what you're talking about, a true Cowboys fan, right?
Yeah,
for real. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was just thinking about that today. I was thinking like, dang, like anybody who was born after like 95 or whatever, and they're Cowboys fans now, like they have to be really, those might be the true fans because they've been through no kind of winning, no kind of consistency, no tradition that I mean, I'm 45. I seen them. I didn't get to see the first one with Staubach, but I saw the one with when we beat the Broncos and all the way through. And I took the heartbreaks when the Steelers was smacking us up in them daggone 70s. I used to cry all the time. And then I seen them 80s when we fall off. But for somebody now who's saw it in the 90s, yeah, you're a true fan because you ain't seen nothing but mediocrity and Jason Garrett and Wade Phillips and Dave Campo and Chan Gailey. Lord have mercy, help you, right? Help your soul.
To make matters even worse, I'm not even from Texas. I'm from South Jersey, brother.
Ooh,
Philly country.
You triple get it.
Yeah, you know.
Somebody buy him a ticket, man. Get him to the game.
Oh, Lord, he definitely. Hey, if we win the Super Bowl, you're gonna be first and foremost. I'm giving shout outs too.
Right. Yes,
listen,
indeed.
I'm so hard of a diehard fan. On my channel, I unveiled that I bought a replica Lombardi and I stored it in a box, and I'm opening it the minute we win the Super Bowl.
Better get rid of Garrett first.
Yeah.
Oh man. So that break it down. We finna move it over to the topic. Jason Garrett. What are your thoughts on Jason Garrett? I want you to go first, big game. Then I let Space goes after you, man.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be first to say about Jason Garrett. I'm not gonna jump on like the train because a lot of people are on Garrett, but I'm gonna be very honest with you. When we hired Garrett, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't excited about the hire with Garrett. He just wasn't that type of coach where I felt like he was gonna lead us to the promised land. But I felt like, you know what? He's a Cowboys coach. I'm gonna roll with it and I'm gonna see what he brings to the table. I'm gonna tell you right now, my sister can't stand Jason Garrett. Like she has a serious hate for him. And I used to try to back him up like, come on, sis. Look, he's okay. He's okay. Give him time to build a program. Give him time to build a program. And then I would see us 5-3. And then we have the December swoon. And then we miss the playoff, 2011. We be winning again and then fall off again. And I'm just sitting there thinking like in my head, like, what's wrong with this guy? But here's the thing about with Jason Garrett to me. As far as him being a person that can build a program, I think he can do that. As far as putting things together, meticulous, putting plans, game plans together, being that meticulous type person, I think he's good. But I think where he fails is when he gets on the game day situations because he takes so long to process information because he thinks so much. When things happen right then and there, it's like he can't make that quick decision. And I think that's what hurts us so many times in these games. And let's be honest, since he's been coached, do you ever feel when you sit down and watch a Cowboys game that we're ever just going to win the game? No, you're sitting on the edge of your seat every single game because you're worried if we get a lead in the second half, it's going to come back and we're going to be sitting on the edges of our seat in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left in the game thinking, please get this touchdown or please stop the ball. And it's every single game and every single year. He's just not the guy. And I'm not trying to hate on him, but after 8 years, you are what you are.
There you go. There you go, Derek. I saw your face pop up, man. I want you to go next, man. Hey, you spit the fire. I'm gonna retort, man, at the end. But Derek, I want you to go and see because I know you had an article. You guys can go find it on the website, the DallasProspect.com. You can find out the article of what the Jason Garrett, how his lineage is attached to the Cowboys. But Derek, give me your thoughts on Jason Garrett.
Man, my situation with Garrett has always been pretty straightforward. I agree with James and everything he said. The main thing I have with Garrett, I don't think he's good at making in-game adjustments, and I don't think that he's good at making adjustments, sometimes even year to year. If something worked one year, he never goes back and makes adjustments for it, whether it's a player out, like the entire 2015 season, basically, whether it's a player out or whatever. We don't try and change our game plan at all to fit the players that we have. And as a result, the offense kind of becomes stagnant and all that. And back until the offseason. It's the offseason when you actually see them actually apply a change. And that's why they are hot for a year, cold for a year, hot for a year, cold for a year. We hadn't had back-to-back 10-win seasons since, like, I think 98. I mean, it's something. No, you know what? I think there's one in the early 2000s now that I think about it. I can't say the year off the top of my head, but I think there is one since then. But the point is, for about a decade, we haven't been able to win 10 games in back-to-back seasons. And that's not just the, everyone talks about like first place schedule versus last place schedule. That makes an impact, sure. But, if we don't have like the Zeke suspension this past year, and if, in games like the Atlanta game, we make any adjustments at all, we're probably looking at, another 11, 12 win season. It just boils down to being able to make adjustments with the talent you have. And you just have to be able to adjust. And I don't ever see that from him. And as a result, we go hot, we go cold, we bounce back. That's nice, but it keeps him hanging around, which drives, I think, the majority of the fan base crazy. And, that's like his whole thing. You referenced the article on the website that Micah wrote for us. That's the same kind of thing. He talks about, the Garrett family kind of connection to the franchise and everything like that. And how overall it's really been an underwhelming kind of, run for Garrett in any level with the Cowboys, whether it was as a player, as a coordinator, as a coach, whatever. But because he can mix in a couple decent years, his connection and everything with the family kind of keeps him within that goodwill. And so it just keeps this vicious cycle going.
Same mundane thing over and over again.
Vicious, dirty, evil cycle.
Space, man. What are your thoughts on? Well, he's been your coach, Space, since you was what, like 11, 12?
Yeah. Hashtag not my coach. Let me tell you something. Whoever thinks Jason Garrett is a good coach is out of their mind, because I'm not. It infuriates me. Like, I can understand that once he has a personnel in place, he somehow does great. But you mean to tell me you have a coach that wets the bed when his players get hurt and he can't make any adjustments until the very end? It's like, oh, well, I mean, it's just a process. I got 5 packs of gum to make sure that I get through the game. I gave him 4 years to do what he had to do. And 2014 was the breakout year. And I was like, okay, maybe we're going somewhere. And then it all fell apart. And I'm so annoyed at like this idea of, oh, we're average and then we'll be good, then bad, then good, average. I just want consistency. I don't want consistency and mediocrity, though.
Yeah.
That's what we got.
And then we go back to the 2014 situation with Dez Bryant, catch no catch situation. I always look at that game. It was destined for us to almost pretty much lose the game. DeMarco Murray fumbles the ball. Our kicker misses the kick. What else happened in that game for us? I think it was something else. What else happened?
J.J. Wilcox is terrible and missing bad angles that game. I mean, even when we were stopping them, we actually had the lead. And then when Devontae Adams caught that pass and J.J. Wilcox took that terrible angle and he scored that touchdown, that just really hurt us.
Did Scandrick mess up too as well out there? Did Scandrick?
I don't know. I don't remember Scandrick playing in that messing up that game. I just remember Aaron Rodgers with a bad calf, running, doing whatever he wanted to, and it was just making no sense to me. This dude was scrambling. I remember I think when he threw that first touchdown, he scrambled for like 5 seconds limping. And I'm like, what is going on? He's limping.
As soon as Murray fumbled that ball, I knew we were going to lose. And I hate to say that, but it's just like,
we're jinxed.
And especially this last playoff game, I was like, I just have a feeling we're going to choke this one. I don't feel like we're going to. And I hate to be like that. Like, I hate to be that guy that's like, guys, I just don't have confidence in this guy. Like, I don't think we can win a game until we get this guy out of here.
He got to get out of here, because I remember vividly. Y'all remember watching the Alabama win the championship this year, right? Mm-hmm. You remember when Nick Saban was on the sideline, because somebody tried to make the comparison of Nick Saban to Jason Garrett of all people, but where you get the clapping from. And on the sideline, I'm sitting here watching Nick Saban literally lose his mind. You know what I mean? When the Hawaiian Punch kid ran all the way back to the other side of the field and got a sack, and he lost his mind. You know what I mean? That's what I really miss, that passion. I miss that type of mantra on the sideline from our head coach. I want a coach that can, when Dez Bryant, I know Cowboys apologists. I mean, not Cowboys apologists. Dez Bryant's apologist. Just in the chat box. But when Dez Bryant was losing his mind on the sideline against the Seattle Seahawks, I think we was up 9-0. Go back and watch the game. We was up 9-0, and Dez losing his mind. And my football coach would have came up to me and said, you know what? You're doing all that pouting. You can put that out in the field. That's temperament that you can have out there on the field. But since you want to act like a cheerleader, go get the pom-poms. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I need a coach that can identify with the players, not calling Dez Bryant a cheerleader. But at that point, when he was pouting, when we was up 9-0, at that point, that's when I said, damn, man, I'm losing faith in Dez, man. At that point, that's when I lost faith in Dez. I'm not to get on the Dez situation, but that's what I'm talking about. A real coach be able to sit Dez down and say, this is what you need to do.
Yeah, man, get someone that's like, man, if it was me in that situation and after Dez fumbled that ball, and then, man, I would have been like, get your sorry behind on that bench for a series. I don't care. I need him to and people think I'm being harsh. It's like, no, I want him to contemplate what he did and then use that passion on the football field.
Well, see, but here's my thing with the Dez Bryant thing, and not even just that. Even when we had Greg Hardy, that was a situation that really stood out in my mind, because remember when we played the New York Giants and we had a chance to beat them, and I believe Dwayne Harris ran that kickback after we just scored. Castle threw that touchdown the street, and it was looking good, like we were back in the game, and I was like, okay, we can do this. And then they ran all the way down the field. Harris took it all the way down for the touchdown. Now, Greg Hardy went off in that huddle and pushed, I believe, the special teams coach. And it was a big old thing about it, big, huge thing about it. And guess what? You never heard anything about it. Did you see Jason Garrett go over there and say anything about Greg Hardy? Did you see in the press conference at the end of the game, did he say anything about Greg Hardy? No, it was Jerry Jones taking over about the Greg Hardy situation. It was never Jason Garrett. And so for me, if I'm a player in that locker room and I see my coach and them not saying anything to a player that can just push another coach and go off, come late to meetings and do whatever he wants, and then he maybe gets a fine, that right there tells me that's not a leader of men. That's not a leader of men. You might be a good coordinator. That might be your forte, but you're not a guy that's a leader of men that's going to lead the Cowboys or any other team, in my eyes, to a championship. I just don't see Jason Garrett holding up a Lombardi trophy saying, we did this. No, I don't. Maybe if you were a coordinator, I could maybe see you helped out, but you being the ultimate man, no, because at the end of the day, you just don't have that authority. And if you're coaching in the National Football League, you need the respect of those men. Now, I'm not saying they don't respect him, but I'm saying you can see sometimes it just feels like, man, the team, I don't know if it just feels like they just kind of just let go sometimes. It's just like, we're just an accident waiting to happen. And
it's Stephen A. Smith. God dog.
It's the truth. It's the truth. It's like when I watch my team, Space Cowboy, when you were saying those things, when I watch my team, I don't want to be pessimistic. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the hater. But then when I'm watching when we played the Green Bay Packers and they jumped on a 7-0, I said, here we go. Yep, it's over.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to feel that way. But when a team jumps on us real quick, I said, it's over.